Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're diving into the world of Hellraiser, and we're going to be looking at specifically the new, or at least announced, Hellraiser TV series. So if you didn't know, there has been announced a Hellraiser TV series for HBO Max, and on the lead up to its, again, announced release anyway, because there is currently, or there will be, a lawsuit with Clive Barker involving the rights holders of Hellraiser. He's basically looking to get the copyright back. I want to dive into the world of Hellraiser and kind of cover some little bits and pieces here and there that I think should be covered in the TV show. And you read from the title, we're going to be looking at Leviathan today. Now, it's really important to note that the TV series actually has the rights to not only the book, The Hellbound Heart, so the novella, but also it has the rights to the entire film series. So it has the rights to all of that, and it can basically do what it wants. Now, one of the almost cult-like creations of the movie was the Leviathan, the giant diamond in the sky ruling over the Labyrinth. In fact, the Lord of the Labyrinth is Leviathan, the ruler of hell, the creator of Cenobites. And what I wanted to do today was just discuss whether or not I think that they should include Leviathan in the show. The short answer is yes, I really do think that they should. But don't get the initial statement wrong or twisted. I don't think that they should explain anything. I think that there is a certain magnitude and sort of gravitas to this being that would be dwindled absolutely astronomically if you were to explain the origin of the beast. Now, in terms of demonology, Leviathan is one of the 7 princes of hell and is essentially the gatekeeper. Leviathan is also known as the Hell Mouth, so again, the gatekeeper, the mouth of Leviathan, is quite literally the doorway to hell. So if we start to compare that over to the Hellraiser universe, and we start to compare it to Leviathan being essentially a form of the Lament configuration, and we compare the two, we can see that the Lament configuration versus the Leviathan, they are one and the same. And it's actually one of those things which is not overly obvious at first glance, but if you start to know the history of Leviathan being known as Hellmouth, being the fact that the body of Leviathan is in fact hell itself, and he is the gatekeeper to hell, again, the body being hell, you start to realise where Clive Barker took the inspiration from. The Lament configuration and the ruler of hell being essentially one and the same. They are one and the same. Lament configuration being the gatekeeper, it opens their world to hell, and then the ruler of hell being Leviathan. Now again, in demonology, Leviathan and the gates of hell are inextricably linked to one another. As such, it is said that the demon's very mouth, famously known as the Hellmouth, can lead to the depths of the abyss as well. Which, when you start to compare it to Leviathan from Hellraiser, the origin of Leviathan is unknown. We don't know anything about the diamond, the dark diamond in the sky of Hellraiser. What we do know, though, is that he has been around, or she has been around, the entity has been around for allegedly a millennia at the very least, many millennia being the case. And it's ruled over the Cenobites and this version of hell. Now, we don't know that it is hell or not. And again, if you start to look at demonology and the sort of comparison between the two, we look at Leviathan being a 7 prince of hell, or one of the 7 princes of hell. You can almost start to look at the individual hells that Leviathan and the other demon princes of hell would sort of rule over. Now, in the Hellraiser world, again, it's not out and out stated that this is hell. It is just thought to be a hellish dimension. Leviathan himself is obsessed with law and order and views humans and the flesh as chaotic and wrong. This is something which is established further in the comics, but because we don't see it in the movies, this is something which may not carry over. Now, the realm that Leviathan rules over, the Labyrinth, is essentially a representation of the mind, the maze that is the mind. So in terms of just that brief overview, and then to get on to the nitty-gritty of exactly why I feel we shouldn't explain too much. There's a lot that I've just said that is kind of vague. It's throwing some comparisons to demonology, biblical references and things like this. In any form of media, be it TV series, movies, comics, mangas, shows, whatever, it's really good to have an air of ambiguity to the villainous roles that are within that universe. Now, the Leviathan was a fantastic inclusion in the first and second Hellraiser movies. It was this Lovecraftian entity spinning in the Labyrinth. Nothing was explained, but it was implied that this was the immortal cosmic power behind hell. The ruler doing everything, the decision maker, the Cenobites enacting the Leviathan's will. And that ambiguity, that cosmic nature, that Lovecraftianism that was behind Leviathan is what has made it, again, a cult favourite among the sort of Hellraiser fandom. So if we strip that right back and you start to explain things too much within a TV show, which is a great opportunity to explain a lot of things, you will remove a lot of what made the Leviathan so interesting. The ability to dig down into the core of religion and myth and legends and things like this and see where Leviathan came from and theorize. That is what engages the viewer so much. So if you strip it back and you were to explain it, no, completely the wrong move. But what I would like to see, personally, because of course this video isn't merely just saying, no, I don't want to see this, but it's also offering my own opinion and a chance for you to give yours down below in the comment section is, ladies and gents, I would love to see the Leviathan included in the show. I would absolutely be for Leviathan being in the show. However, it absolutely must maintain that ambiguous structure. What I would like to see is a form of expansion to the lore, but remaining core to the cosmic nature of Leviathan. You could even have Leviathan speak. You can have it communicate. In Hellraiser and Hellraiser 2, we saw it communicate with Morse code. That's the light beams and the sound that was coming out of it. It is actually Morse code. But I would be for Leviathan speaking. I would be for the Cenobites even relaying what the Leviathan has said to them, to one another. If you don't wish for Leviathan to actually have a voice, then the Cenobites can be the voice that Leviathan uses through to the viewer, to the audience. And because, of course, the TV show has the demon princess, Angelique, we can absolutely explain just a little bit more of what Leviathan is through her. Why not? The TV show has the rights to Angelique, so to expand that just ever so slightly, explain how she is the demon princess, explain to the viewer her origins and why she looks so different. Was she an entity like Leviathan, merely given a fleshy form that was gifted to her upon her creation? Who knows? How does Pinhead even know of Angelique come Hellraiser Bloodlines when she's been gone for so long and he wasn't around during that time, or X, Y, and Z? It would be very intriguing to find out these sort of elements. But don't over-explain. Keep the Leviathan, this cosmic, Lovecraftian entity. So few Lovecraftian films remain, and Hellraiser, when you kind of strip it back, is a form of a Lovecraftian film. You know, it has cosmic entities and powers and sort of that ambiguity behind it, which lends itself so well to Lovecraftianism. So there you go. Yes, I do think Leviathan should be in the show. I think that the listings that I've done to kind of explain where Clive Barker could have got the Leviathan inspiration from, and also how it compares to demonology and biblical elements and the references such and such forth, I think that actually is a great display of saying, well, hey, that's why you keep it ambiguous. You keep it ambiguous so that people can dive into it. But I hand it on over to you. What do you guys think? Again, remember, this TV show may not get made. We are none the wiser to whether the HBO Max TV series will be made, but hopefully, or at least the HBO show, sorry, but hopefully it should be made. We'll see how it goes. Michael Dougherty and Mark Verheiden on board. It could be very, very good if it gets the green lights and if Clive Barker isn't successful in capturing the rights back. But again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. This video specifically isn't to talk about Clive Barker's rights and things like that, but it's more to discuss and get your thoughts on whether we should have Leviathan in the show, and if so, in what form. What would you like to see explained and why? Let me know down below in the comment section. If you are new here, then please do hit subscribe. You can stay up to date on these types of videos, the world of pop culture and movie news, by hitting the bell notification icon. Thank you all so much for watching, though I have been Mr. H. Take care.